The 2011 Academy Award nominees for Best Director are Woody Allen for Midnight in Paris, Michel Hazanavicius for The Artist, Terrence Malick for The Tree of Life, Alexander Payne for The Descendants, and Martin Scorsese for Hugo.
So now we're here to discuss Best Director for the Academy Awards for 2011. Theater is an actor's medium, and television is really a writer's medium. But film, this is the director's domain, and this is where the director not only gets to demonstrate their technical skills, but the director is also the person that has the vision.
So when I boil down my Best Director prediction, I look at certain factors, and one of the major factors is the Directors Guild of America Award. Since the inception in 1948, only 6 times has the winner of the DGA Award not won the Best Director. And if someone has not been nominated for the DGA Award, it's very unlikely they will actually win. So we can almost immediately eliminate Terrence Malick for The Tree of Life. He didn't receive a DGA nomination. That actually went to David Fincher for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But even though that's the case, because he was nominated, I will have to say that the person I think should win is Terrence Malick. In the same way that Kubrick never won an Academy Award for Best Director, I don't know that Terrence Malick ever will be able to, but it's majestic to behold.
He is definitely one of these outside-of-the-box visionaries. To some degree, though, this particular story is inaccessible to a large percentage of the audience.
It sets up a perspective of the beginning of time and the end of time that is very specific, and might be a little bit alienating for some audiences. That being said, I very much enjoyed Tree of Life. I thought it was a fantastic film.
He's such on the fringe of Hollywood, I very much doubt he will even show up to the Academy Awards. Another guy who never shows up to the Academy Awards, save for one time, is Woody Allen.
Like Malick, a little too much of Woody Allen gets wrapped up in the story, and so we're looking at him kind of pulling strings, and that's the whole thing about the movies, is that I don't want to see you pull the strings.
I completely agree. I think that Woody Allen has made a lot of better movies than Midnight in Paris. That being said, this is a crowd pleaser. This is along the lines of The Artist. So actually, this is my pick for what I think will win. And that's because the Academy does get really nostalgic sometimes, and the Academy likes to throw these career Oscars to directors, regardless of whether they've been honored before or not.
If they're going to honor Woody Allen, they can honor him in another category, and that's Best Original Screenplay. Certainly you could see him win there. I think that the film that could take Best Adapted Screenplay would be another Best Director nominee that we can talk about, and that's Alexander Payne for The Descendants.
This would be my pick for what I'd want to win for Best Director. I think this is the best directed film this year, and specifically in terms of point of view. We talk about how a director should have something to say. Why does this film exist? And you look at the scenes, The Descendants, and there are people yelling at a woman in a coma, and it's like cringeworthy. You feel for the woman, you feel for the family, you're laughing at the ridiculousness of the scenario. But it's this director showing you a tragic life circumstance and having you estrange it in your own point of view and look at it in a different way. And that's the mark of a great director.
I agree. This would be my pick for Best Director. You see that this is someone who is a craftsman, who really does have the training and the skill and the eye. He understands vision. And then he knows how to get out of the way of good talent. He knows how to just tweak a story so that it can be that much better.
Payne was nominated once before for Best Director for Sideways in 2004. He was bested by basically a Hollywood heavyweight director, Clint Eastwood. We have another Hollywood heavyweight director nominated this year, Martin Scorsese, for Hugo. Do we think maybe he has a chance at taking the prize?
Well, see, this is my prediction. And it's not because I think that he's necessarily delivered the best picture, but I do think that he is a Hollywood heavyweight. This is a man who can garner the best crew and the best talent, which is a marker of a great director.
I wouldn't be upset if Martin Scorsese got an Oscar because I do love him so much, but I don't think that he deserves one.
If there's going to be an upset, I think that Scorsese will take home the gold. But because of the DGA being the predictor that it is 95% of the time, I have to pick Michel Hazanavicius. Even though I think The Artist is actually the weakest of the 5 films. I don't think he should win, but it certainly looks like he will win.
Michel Hazanavicius has demonstrated that he's really good at making some quality fluff. If he was making a statement or a critique, then he didn't do a very good job of that.
It'll be interesting if Hazanavicius actually wins because he's the newcomer, really, among this group of 5.
Well, Tom Hooper was the newcomer last year for the King's Speech, and he did go on to win, so that makes me nervous.
Go ahead and sum up our predictions.
Despite the fact that I feel this is the weakest of the 5 nominated directors, that DGA award is such an amazing precursor that my prediction is going to have to go to Michel Hazanavicius for The Artist.
Martin Scorsese is the heavyweight here, and therefore I predict he'll win Best Director for Hugo.
Midnight in Paris is just as much of an audience picture as The Artist. I just happen to like Neurotic Jews a little bit more than silent film stars. My prediction for Best Director goes to Woody Allen for Midnight in Paris.
We'll just have to tune into the Oscars to see who's right.
That's right. February 26th. Cheers.
Cheers.